What's going on, everyone? Happy Monday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had taken a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues. It is time now for the Monday edition of the Pandemic Update for Monday, July 1st, 2024. That's right, we have entered yet another month, and here we are still in a pandemic. We are clearly in the summer surge. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. This is where we do the daily pandemic update on all things COVID and any other virus that could be a health threat to you. I bring you the news of the day and anything that I find on COVID. Today is not a busy news day, but there are some things that we do need to take a look at, and we're going to take a look at something we have not taken a look at in quite some time. I think it's long overdue, and quite frankly, we want to talk about Puerto Rico. Well, it's really the only thing I can find on Puerto Rico. The reason why, you're probably asking, why do we want to talk about Puerto Rico? It's because it's been a long time since I have said anything on Puerto Rico. But if you do a Google search in the news for Puerto Rico, you're not going to find much of anything at this time, unfortunately. But rumor has it, Puerto Rico is in the surge. Well, we'll take a look at that. Want to learn what's going on with the pandemic and all these other viruses? Subscribe to my channel down below. Give this a thumbs up, share these videos with anyone you know, and of course, leave your comments down below and hit that notification bell. Alright, starting off today, we just have one news item, though there are some other things we'll look at. And that one news item today is the B&O Weekly Update. And this is very important that we share this each and every week. All right, weekly U.S. COVID update. New cases, 88,862. That's the estimate. The average is 72,844. That is up by 8,874. In the hospital, 2,181. That is up by 413. In the ICU, 230. That is up by 21. New deaths, 474, and the average is 463. That is up by 14. COVID is still rising across the U.S., with cases going up in an estimated 43 states, 39 last week. While COVID levels are still relatively low compared to the winter months, they're double compared to last summer. The most notable increases this week were reported in Virginia, where they had a 98% increase, New Jersey, 62% increase, Idaho, 59% increase, Arizona, 32% increase, Iowa, 30% increase, Georgia, 27% increase, Indiana, 26% increase, and California, 25% increase. Only 34% of hospitals in the U.S. submitted COVID data this week, which is down from 35% last week and down 91% from in early May. This means actual case numbers and hospitalizations are higher than reported. And I can tell you, we are far missing how many people are at least just showing up for the emergency department for COVID right now. So, for example, if a hospital is not reporting its COVID data, like let's just say, for example, emergency department visits. Say someone shows up. They get tested for COVID there and a whole bunch of other viruses. And COVID's the one that shows up positive. We're not even finding out about all these cases, which is really bad right now because there are a lot of people out with COVID right now. This is the 224th week in a row with more than 400 new COVID deaths in the U.S., or nearly 1.2 million deaths during the same period. So far this year, more than 3.6 million COVID cases have been reported in the U.S., causing 296,706 hospitalizations and 31,641 deaths. All right, moving on to this now. This is something that I started over the weekend, and we're very fortunate to have people that have already started to add stuff to it, which is fantastic. I'll be adding stuff of my own, and this is a thread that I posted on my website. And I put, in this thread, all cases of entertainers who were sick or had to cancel shows in 2024 will be listed. This will be a work in progress. I will be adding to it as I see new ones pop up or find old ones. Check back often, as I will constantly be adding and editing this thread. And of course, we all know Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam is out. They had to cancel a show on June 29th in London due to illness, But let's scroll down here to something else. Pearl Jam now is out yet again for more shows. Pearl Jam cancels additional European tour dates due to unspecified illness. The band has yet to make a full recovery. They're not stating what the illness is, but boy, it sure sounds like COVID. And this is something that can really cause problems. Back on June 4th of 2024, Han Hillary had to cancel a show because on June 4th of 2024 to June 6th of 2024, and a direct quote from the artist says, "I'm sorry to report that I won't be able to perform this week due to a sudden, quote, respiratory illness that I have to take seriously." And now I have to share this with you from the same poster, my moderator Steve, and that previous one by about Pearl Jam was from Guy in North Carolina. Thank you for adding this stuff. All right, Steve said, artist Faith Paloma had to cancel, she's a singer, on June 28th, 2024, had to cancel a performance. Specifics for cancellation. After suffering exhaustion and catching various illnesses from my kids, my voice has been severely affected. My range is compromised. I have sought advice from medical professionals. They have advised that I need to rest my voice, and that means I've had to cancel tonight's shows. So, yeah, it's starting to go around once again. Some of these are from back in June. We'll be adding to this, I'll be adding to this, all the ones that we've reported on here on the channel, and there have been quite a few. I can think right off the top of my head. Stevie Nicks, Jeff Dunham, all that stuff. It's getting added to this. It needs to be added. All right, taking a look at what's going on with pollen levels today. The National Allergy Map is at 63%. Taking a look at what is going on with air qualities if this loads. I tried loading this earlier, and it completely froze up on me. Sometimes, I don't know what their deal is, because I have a very high-powered computer that we record on with 32 gigabytes RAM. Maybe that has nothing to do with it. I don't know. Taking a look here. You know what? I'm just going to pause for a second. Have a look. The vast majority of the country is not doing too bad. Yes, you have some problems in North Carolina, South Carolina, Louisiana, on up through Nebraska. Look at the Northeast. Aside from these few random sites, not doing too bad. Pacific Northwest. I'm not even going to talk about that light shade of green. It's there. It's not bad. California, your usual spots, but really, if you think about it, this is the best day nationally that we've seen in quite some time. All right, drum roll, please. I have to refresh this. We're going to be seeing this together. The heat-related illness map. Oh, my. Okay, this is not looking good. We can see here, almost the entire state of Maine is much higher than average for heat-related illnesses. New Hampshire, Vermont, New York. Yeah, it's starting to show up now. We're seeing that lag come into play. Remember it was oh so hot up in the Northeast? Well, it's caught up now. And take a look. Ohio and Indiana are reporting once again. Virginia is going up. Illinois is going up. Yeah, it's going up in a lot of places. Not terrible yet in the Dakotas. Not terrible yet in northern Wisconsin and the West Coast. It's increasing there as well. So this is starting to become concerning. Want to learn more about what's going on with the weather and climate? You can do so over on my other X account that I talk about. And today we're talking about Hurricane Beryl. The most recent thing I posted was something from my YouTube channel. And yes, I do have another YouTube channel where I talk about Hurricane Beryl. And Hurricane Beryl right now is still at 150 mile per hour winds. It went over the Windward Islands earlier. And from what I'm hearing, it sounded like it was really bad. There was actually a storm chaser there. So, yep, you can go check that out on my other channel. And now taking a look at EMS calls for Sunday in Philadelphia. 826 EMS incidents. Let's do a live look at what's going on in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Hopefully not too busy. Yikes, I'm seeing some calls I don't like. I'm seeing cardiac emergency, but I'm also seeing Montgomery Township, Montgomery County on Horsham Road, cardiac arrest. Don't like seeing that. I happen to know. Well, no, it just gives the road. It's a long road, so could be anywhere on that road. Taking a look what's going on in Chester County. Let's refresh this, and I do see injured person, choking, sick person, another sick person, and heart problems. Alrighty, let's take a look now at the weekly update from Walgreens, and I'm going to refresh this. And this week we are going to go back to the original way of doing it because it is working. We can actually, the numbers seem to be matching up pretty well when I switch from current view to changes from prior week. So let's do changes from prior week. First off, national positivity rate trend is 36.5%. The prior week was 34.1%. Difference of up 2.5%, and the total number of tests. That's up this week, which is, quite frankly, a good thing. We want to see more people getting tested. But seems to me as if it only goes up when cases are going up. We need more people to get tested at all times, but I get it. To go out and get a PCR test is not cheap. If you don't have the proper insurance, they will bill you. They will bill you $300 or whatever it is now. Maybe more, maybe it's less for you. I don't know. But to get a PCR test is not cheap. 5,150 tests versus 4,601. Taking a look at New Hampshire. And is it New Hampshire did not report last week? No. They're just seeing a big increase. 50% versus 25%. Now, they're only doing 8 tests versus 12. That is such a tiny, tiny amount of tests, but an increase is an increase. New York State, we're seeing red. What's going on there? Well, the positivity rate is rising. That's what's going on. 43.4% this week versus 37.1%. Difference of up 6.3%. Total test 136 versus 116. What's going on in Pennsylvania, my state? Ooh, I'm not liking this whatsoever. 37% positivity rate versus 27.3%, 9.8% increase. Yeah, there was a decrease in testing, but again, that number, that 9.8% increase, it's not all because testing dropped. Cases are probably rising as well, and unfortunately, I do know of a few people who are starting to test positive for COVID here in Pennsylvania, or they were in Pennsylvania, so yeah, not a good thing. Virginia this week. We know Virginia saw the big increase in cases according to BNO News. 33.6% this week versus 25%. Difference of up 8.6%. Total tests 128 versus 132. Let's go over to Kentucky. Kentucky is seeing, wow, big increase in Kentucky right now. 42.6% positivity rate this week versus 27.4%. That is up by 15.2%. Total test 54 versus 62. Yeah, testing's down, but hey, that's a magnificent increase in the positivity rate. 15.2%. Yeah, that's not good. California, what's going on with you? Unfortunately, California continues to rise, and the number of testing went up as well. So this is a legitimate rise because of the summer surge. 38% positivity rate this week, and that's a difference of up 9% from 29% last week. 258 tests versus 231. Cannot show you Alaska, cannot show you Hawaii. At least I don't think so. They're bright white now. And I think when I go, there's a way I can see how many tests were done. I think they only had one test done in Alaska or one of those states. There's just no testing there. Taking a look at Oklahoma. 47.2% positivity rate this week. Wow. And the prior week was 22.7%. That is up by 24.5%. Total tests, 36 versus 22. I know, tiny bits of testing. Some people say Walgreens is useless. Well, no, it's not 100% useless. I mean, it gives us a sense of what's going on. And clearly, there is a big rise going on in Oklahoma. Let's end on a green note. Green being a good thing. Washington, the positivity rate, this is Washington State. The positivity rate is dropping. 32% versus 40%, that's down 8%. Testing's up. It's a legitimate drop. 122 total tests versus 110. All right, moving on now. We're not going to look at wastewater, but instead, we are going to take a look at something from CDC. Weekly percent of deaths due to COVID-19. And we're starting off with Puerto Rico. We have not looked at anything from Puerto Rico in a long time. My apologies, but to be fair, there's really hardly anything. I try sometimes. Maybe if I do some more Twitter searches. That might bring me up something. I think I did see something on X just the other days. And it says here, the blue bars show weekly provisional deaths due to COVID-19. The orange line represents weekly percentage of deaths due to COVID-19 as a timely measure of mortality trends. The percentage of COVID-19 deaths is less affected by incomplete reporting in recent weeks because death certificate data from COVID-19 in all causes has similar timeliness. So let's take a look here. And we can see here in Puerto Rico, Look at this. The weekly percentage of deaths due to COVID-19. It's almost up to 5%. That's concerning. So 5% of all deaths right now in Puerto Rico are because of COVID. But if we take a look here, and we go back to 2022, it was all the way up to 21%. But let's also take a look at something else. 5% again, right? Well, if we go back to the winter months, right now, it's higher than all the winter months. This is the highest percentage. Let's see, what's this? It's the highest percentage since 2022 in Puerto Rico. Really concerning to see that it's gone up that high for this wave. So, in the case of Puerto Rico, anyone saying, well, this wave's not going to be more severe, right now in Puerto Rico, based on deaths, it is. All right, let's take a look at some other. You know what? Let's just do the national. Let's see what's going on nationally. Can we? Mind you, sometimes this is very slow. And we can see the percentage of deaths due to COVID nationally starting to go up again. That's at 0.8%. It peaked in the winter wave at 3.8%. I don't know that it's going to get back to that. We'll have to see what happens with the back to school business that starts up in just about a month. Because some are saying back to school could be a significant cause for more surge. And, it makes sense. You have a lot of cases where families, they all live together. Or in other words, you may have an elderly person who lives at home with their son or daughter. And if the kid goes to school, catches COVID, the elderly people, we know they can catch a more severe case. We know anybody at any age can catch a severe case of COVID. Let's take a look at District Columbia. What is going on there right now? Well, can't do that. So some of these places are showing incomplete data. And New York City, can we actually go right down to New York City? Now, can we? It says right now the current percentage is 1.3%. So it's 1.3% in New York City. What's going on in Pennsylvania? Right now, Pennsylvania is very low. It's just 0.5% of all deaths are because of COVID. How about we go out to California? We know California is doing really bad. We'll also take a look at Hawaii as well. California, it is starting to go up 1.2%. And I really want to know what's going on with Hawaii. This is unscripted right here. I did not look at Hawaii. Now, we can't look at Hawaii right now. See, our data. We need better data. We should be able to just, at the snap of a finger, be able to pull this up for any state. The CDC. Come on, CDC. Get your act together. We need to know what's going on in these states. All right, one more state. Illinois. Illinois at this time is dropping, and the most recent update is, wow, you have to go way back. You have to go all the way back to April 27th, or no, May 11th, where it was just a 0.5%. We'll take a look at more of these states in the coming days, although I suspect tomorrow's going to be a much busier news day, because I just think it will be. We'll see. I've already got a few things in mind for tomorrow that I'm going to research. All right, taking a look here in New Jersey. 70 out of 70 hospitals reporting, but I got this zoomed in really close. 165 hospitalizations, but there is still that big drop. So out of nowhere, they were up to 281 last week. It was gradually going up, and now suddenly it's just dropping. Not buying into that. And New Jersey has done this before. We will probably likely see a correction at some point. Moving on here, taking a look at what's going on in New York State as it refreshes on me. 1,263 new cases. I think that's the highest number we've seen. Now, mind you, this is from last week, but the highest number of an update for a Monday report. Monday lagged report, meaning last week's numbers, in quite some time. So that means we may continue to see New York State rise this week. Hospitalizations in New York State. Wait till you see this. They're actually dropping. This is some good news, but again, you have to wonder yourself. Is it really dropping, or is it another New Jersey case? And I think what's going on is, it may have said 70 out of 70 in New Jersey, but maybe there's some data missing. I don't know. But New York State is dropping at this time. I'm happy to say that. 751 hospitalized, 65 people in the ICU. I would be a little surprised if there's not an increase tomorrow. As you can see here, for the last several weeks, Tuesdays have started a new week with increases. And again, it's lag data, some of it being a total of multiple days. That's the way we are these days. We don't get everyday reports. There haven't been everyday reports in New York State since, golly, how far back do you have to go? Let's just go way back. Let's just go back 31 months. We haven't had daily reports Yeah, you have to go all the way back to 2022. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Monday edition of the Pandemic Update. We'll have another Pandemic Update again tomorrow. If you like this update, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe down below. I know, I'm trying to add a few more things, like we just did those percentages of deaths. Puerto Rico. Wow, that's really bad. Share these videos with anyone you know. Subscribe, thumbs up, notification bell, comments down below. I'll see you all again next time. Until I see you again next time, have a safe and great Monday evening. Thanks for watching.